Hi, everybody. Hi, everybody. Hi, everybody, and welcome back to the Talking About the Big Stuff podcast with Michael Cole and Matthew Cravat. I am Michael Cole.
And I am Matthew Cravat.
All right, so let's get started.
Stuff. I'm all pet peeves this week.
Yeah, we can do that. Also, I know I didn't run this by either of you, but
the new episode?
No, I was just going to say, what if this is the last episode we record in 2025? What if we take the next 2 weeks off?
That is fine with me.
Okay.
It'll give Matthew's system time to think about what it's done.
Yeah, I just am like, I know that I'm going to be like a fucking beast trying to like do everything, and like we're not getting back from Massachusetts till I think we're coming back Christmas Eve, and then we're immediately going to Charlotte. That is next Wednesday?
What, 24th? 23rd?
24th.
Okay. I lose track of when Christmas is. I'm not good at when Christian holidays are. I always have to Google it.
You know what? That's totally okay, because I had to send Zach and Mrs. Wallman a Hanukkah gift for their first Hanukkah as a married couple, and I had to look up when Hanukkah was to make sure it was going to get there in time.
Well, it's now.
It got delivered today. It's perfect. I like it. You're like, it is now. I'm like, I know, because I had to look it up.
Matthew's in the middle of 8 spicy nights, so he knows.
I saw your series. I started to watch it.
Yeah.
So, welcome back, everybody. Tonight we're going to do, instead of talking about the big stuff, we're going to do kibitzing about the small stuff. Did I pronounce that right, Matthew?
You did. It is small stuff. You are perfectly correct.
I also, when I was typing that out to you, I was like, I'm probably going to spell this wrong. And then Apple was like, we know what you're trying to spell. Here you go.
There are Jews who work in the IT department. We'll fix that for you.
Right, I was about to say it's Apple. They're Jews working in IT.
What I love is, you say, kibitzing, said it perfectly. What I love is that it's similar to the Hebrew word in pronunciation of kibbutz, which is like a commune.
It is.
Completely different word. And sometimes people will say, let's go kibbutz, we'll be kibbutzing about this topic. And I'm like, no, we're not moving in together. We're not.
Yeah. It's like those cookies that taste like anus. Those are Christmas cookies that taste like, you're an Italian, Alex. You know what I'm talking about.
Strufoli?
Oh.
No, not strufoli.
Anus. The
anus cookies, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Like anise.
My sister-in-law always, these taste like anus. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love when a word sounds like another word. Makes it.
Do you mean like government or president or? Oh no, that's when it sounds like one thing but is another. Not
like the planet the planet Uranus, or the town
Uranus.
Yeah.
Yep.
The town in Missouri outside of St. Louis is Uranus. There's a town there, so they have like a fudge store. I mean, they play it up like the fudge store plays it up completely. Yep.
At least they have a sense of humor about it.
They said this fudge came from Uranus.
Is it that they have a sense of humor, or is it like, oh, we are a nothing town, but we could be
Uranus,
the Uranus Fudge Factory, and we could actually build some like tourism just for that reason.
Yeah, maybe.
So
anyway, what was I saying? So we're just going to talk about, I don't know, I just wanted to shoot the shit with you guys tonight.
Let's not shoot the shit and not shoot each other, because there's way too many shootings this week. And
was it a shooting with Rob Reiner, or I know he was killed, but I don't know. Or you were talking about the Bondi Beach.
And then the school shooting the same day.
In Brown?
Brown, I think, yeah, Brown. Brown was a school shooting, yeah.
And both of those were religious, or no? Or maybe they just mentioned that.
Well, the Jewish one was a Hanukkah festival, so it seems to have been.
Okay. There was a Muslim guy that was shot in that.
Well, a Muslim guy who took down the shooter. A Muslim guy's the one who took down the shooter. The hero of the day.
And he has a GoFundMe.
Yeah,
which is fantastic.
Yeah, he got shot doing it or whatever. He was the hero of the day. But so yeah.
Mm-hmm. Anybody can have a GoFundMe, Alex.
Rob Reiner and
if you say the N-word and get fired, you'll have a GoFundMe.
No. That's on Give, Send, Go.
Yeah,
that's where all the Christian nationalists go.
I wish they had one called Go Fund Yourself just for those people.
Rob Reiner,
I like that. Rob
Reiner's son stabbed him and his wife to death. So, or allegedly.
Yes.
So I explained to my family, we were talking about, will this be our topics? And I'm like, it'll be 2 weeks before anyone hears it. So it's our topic. Yeah. It's our topic in 2 weeks. And everyone goes, what happened 2 weeks ago?
Yeah. Well, and that's funny too when you said the thing about Hanukkah. It's like, well, Hanukkah will be over by the time this episode goes out. Well, Christmas will be over by the time.
Patrons will get this on the last day of Hanukkah. Instead of we record it on the first.
If I edit quickly,
we record it on the first day. Patrons will get it next Monday, which is the last day. So
Yep. So anyway,
but we are doing 8 spicy nights. That'll still be up on Brooklyn Brothers on Instagram, Brooklyn Brothers Food Review, and YouTube. Nights. Yeah, Leah had the idea of what if you did hot sauces on latkes? And I was trying to find 8 sauces that had a theme, and then I realized, I can do 8 sauces that were gifted to me by people. So for the theme of Hanukkah and gifts, I'll do gifted.
Yep.
And then,
are you making the latkes yourself, or is there a good place to get them?
Oh, I am making them myself. I am taking them right out of the box and popping them in the air fryer.
Are they good that way?
The ones Trader Joe's has are decent. And Wegmans ran out of the brand. They had, my mom and I wanted to do a taste test. So I actually bought 2 boxes from Wegmans, one to do this with, and from Trader Joe's rather. And if Wegmans gets theirs back in, my mom and I wanted to do a taste test between them. It's nothing like what we make. It's a completely different product. It's like eating a frozen pizza versus a pizza. Like, I really like this frozen pizza, but it's not a pizzeria pizza. Yeah. But it's
Sarah
a lot of work to make latkes.
Got a kit for them.
You do latkes for a night. I can't do it 8 nights in a row. We would have to make it and then eat leftovers. So I might make latkes one night this week, but I'm not doing it for record.
Yeah. The place, what was the name of the deli that used to be over on Tryon? Mookie's. They had really great ones. They did. I remember being a kid. I was in Boy Scouts.
Being a kid and going to Mookie's.
No, and there was and one of the kids in my Boy Scout troop was Jewish, and his mom made them for us, and they were amazing. And then anytime I had them anywhere else for the rest of my life until 3 years ago, I was like, these just aren't that good. And then I was like, well, this Mookie's is all their other food's pretty good. And I tried those, and I was like, these are amazing. So I got them every time, no matter what I was getting, I would get those. And now they're out of business. And
dang it!
Yeah, it's unfortunate.
Their pricing was crazy.
Yeah, but they're good. I mean, the thing is, I was the only one who really liked them. Like, there was one thing my mother liked, but like their burgers and stuff. That was too rich for most of the people in my family. They were like it's too much. It's too rich. So like I would love I like their pastrami, but now you can go to Fratelli's, and Fratelli's pastrami I don't think is as good, but it's good enough to make do with.
Yeah, but they probably don't have latkes.
True.
They may as a special on occasion. It's entirely possible, but not going to be as good.
I used to go.
Maybe you liking rich food was not a great thing.
Yeah,
you're right. I used to go to Lucky's in Durham. That was the
Main Street there,
deli that I really liked to go to.
Yeah, they had good matzo ball soup. I had a buddy.
They did a
buddy Mac, and we used to when we were Claxo, we'd go there together. When I first left Claxo, we would meet for lunch there at Lucky's.
Mm-hmm.
So let me tell you a quick Mac story. Mac is a very large black man. Who's from Baltimore, and his godmother worked at a Jewish deli, so she used to bring home Jewish food all the time, deli food. So he used to eat, or do Jewish, like diner maybe kind of thing. But so he used to eat Jewish food all the time. So he like, Matt, we got to go for matzo ball. I'm craving matzo balls. So we used to go matzo ball soup, and he was a large black man that was bald, so he looked a little bit like a matzo ball. So I started calling him matzo ball, and then we were out for Creole food one time, and the waitress asked me what I wanted with the special or what vegetables I wanted. And I said, I don't know, whatever's good. And she goes, well, besides the collard greens, I would recommend. And I was like, what do you mean? What do you mean besides the collard greens? A white man can't have collard greens in this restaurant? And people, all the tables are looking at me, and Mac is blushing and dying. And she's like, I'm sorry, I'll bring you collard greens. I'm sorry. And I'm sorry. So then Mac started calling me collard greens. And then in the office, he'd call me CG, and I'd call him MB all the time. And then one day, he and my boss, my director, are walking towards me, and they're coming from harassment, respectful workplace, micro interaction, workshop. And and we're in open space, and we sit in an open space, with no walls or anything. And he raises his voice, and he's a big guy with booming voice, and he goes, "So I'm not supposed to call him collard greens anymore? Is that what I'm hearing?"
Is that what I'm hearing?
And I look up and said, "What did you call me, matzo ball?" And my boss looks at me, looks at him, and she goes, and she's like a white Christian woman, she goes, all I know is I cannot be in this conversation. And she just turned around and walked the other way. She just left.
All I know is I'm not allowed to be in this conversation.
It was like, what are you doing? He's calling me the black slur kind of thing, and I'm calling him the Jewish slurry kind of thing. Like if it was the other way, it would sound like slurs. So it was very weird.
True. Yeah. No, you're right.
When I worked at Verizon, which is where I met Adam, who I know you don't
Matt
believe
worked
exists.
at Verizon too. He's coded the software for the kiosk, the check-in kiosk. He's the one who wrote that code for the original kiosk. So when customers check in by themselves.
Nice.
Cool.
Yeah. He's a smart guy.
So every time it doesn't call my name, it's his fault.
Well, I expect it's been rewritten in the 20 years since.
But when I worked at Verizon, there was a lot of black people who worked there, and one day we were all in the break room, a bunch of us, and I was the only white person, and it was the N-word going back and forth, and I went to do something, and they started calling me that, and I probably looked giddy because I was like, they're calling me the N-word.
I'm accepted.
I'll
call them back. I'll call it to them back.
No.
I'm part of it. I'm part of the.
Now I can say
I'm part
it back
of the
to them.
diaspora now.
Yeah.
I know. I've never wanted to be called that because then I'd have to respond in kind, and that's still a word I cannot. It's one of those.
You don't have to respond
I am
in
shameless. Kind. I can't bring myself to say it, regardless of scenario. So
you don't have that. That's not a bad thing.
No, probably not.
There's not a good reason.
Why are we deleting people's messages now?
No, she deleted her own message.
Oh, I was like, wow, we're moderating that hard already? This is a spicy podcast.
Yeah, no, Madhavi said something really terrible that I didn't want to hear, so I deleted it. No, she deleted her own message.
I'm already silencing our detractors, all three of them.
They're all related to me.
Yeah, they're all related to one of us.
I will say, so, the typical white thing about, I don't think anybody should say the N-word that a lot of white people like to do. Mm-hmm. If some people aren't allowed to say it, why should anyone be able to say it? Well, my mom has been using that argument for 30 years at least, and I was home in the last 2 months. I don't remember which time I was home for it. It came up. She said that, and I explained to her that it's like if someone in my family calls me fathead, that's different than if a stranger walks up and says you have a fat head.
Yeah.
Sometimes there is the in-group, out-group mentality, and my mom was like, "Oh, that makes sense. I'm going to stop saying that." I'm like, I won something. I actually made a point.
That right?
It's funny because it works with non-offensive things too, because people in the younger generation than me seem to think the word Jew is offensive. There's a thing where they because it's it's short and abrupt. So, but it's if my rabbi says, "So you're a Jew," that's not offensive. If someone goes, "You look like a Jew," that sounds offensive. It's not the word; it's the way you say it.
Connotation matters. Usage matters.
There are words that are inherently bad that can be repurposed to be good, like fathead. But then there's words that are not bad that can just sound bad when used that way.
Oh, and I think there's also things that we would consider good out of context that can be not good with a certain context. So, I
call people Mike Cole in this house, and everyone knows it's an insult.
No, but if you say I love you, most people don't hear I love you and think bad thing. But if I went up to a random school child, it was I love you. Creepy and weird,
Could you never make something I have to delete out of the podcast like that again?
Oh, that's not getting deleted. It's not getting deleted because it's true.
It's in context. But Mike, you're an expert in stand-up comics. Are you familiar with the work of the great Dimitri Martin?
Of course. Yeah, absolutely I am.
Dimitri?
Never seen a guy I've liked more with a poster board or whatever.
Jokes that didn't work, take two. He had a line about people don't like when you're specific. If you say, "I love children," they're fine with it. But if you're specific, say, "I love 7-year-olds."
Yeah.
Suddenly, nobody likes you anymore.
Yeah, it's true.
Dimitri Martin's he was a perfect example of it's all about delivery, because his bit about there's no such thing as a B-size battery is still one of my favorite simple puns Ketchup be battery.
A battery.
It's one of my favorite simple puns, and it works so perfectly. But it's so simple. It's almost like when Simpsons goes highbrow. You have to think about it for a second. It's not just right in front of your face. Yeah, hi. And Dimitri Martin's delivery is dry as can be. Hi, I'd like some B batteries.
You guys want to know a real fun thing about Dimitri Martin? I'm looking him up right now.
He's not named after a cocktail?
No. He's 112. No, he's 52 and he looks 12. Like he is one of the.
He's 52.
He's 52
How old
years
was he
old
when he came up?
He was like in his 30s when he got even remotely
on Daily
famous.
Show. He was the voice of the young people
he
when
came
he was
in
like
late.
30.
Yeah, he still looks 12.
Yeah. He is like, so he's like Matthew's age, and he looks like he's younger than. I mean, I don't look that young, but
yeah, I really think the year of that Comedy Central special was like early 2000s.
Yeah,
and now he's just the same thing with like a little shorter hair around his ear, and it's gray.
Yeah,
kind of like me.
So
currently.
Ricochet Rita said in the chat that one time early in her marriage, she said Jew in passing, and her husband asked if she was allowed to say that.
Yeah,
and then she also said he was very worried when she made a joke. Her dad was in the hospital when we were visiting together, and she made a joke about there was a yellow star, and she's like, "They make Matthew wear a yellow star," and he was like, "You can't say that." It's like she could say it to me.
Yeah. Well,
context
and
matters.
I've told I tried to like instill that idea in Logan too, and I say like there's a lot of stuff.
He can make Jew jokes around Matthew, but trying to teach Logan that only around Matthew can you make the Jew jokes.
No. I tell him about context and the fact that context matters and intent matters and all these things like that. But I always say like he actually knows that my friend Adam is real, and I'll say to him, I make.
I don't know if it's considered abuse that you've got him in your delirium, but whatever. Go ahead.
Abuse.
Anyway, I tell him I'm like I make jokes. Adam and he'll talk about because he's a cop and he'll talk about like a wrongfully arresting a white guy to just make up for the to do the opposite of what the police have always done.
Makes sense.
To balance it out, and I'll make jokes about about black people to him, and I'm like, but those jokes that I make to Adam, I absolutely won't make to a friend of mine that I think, or to anybody I know that I think might go like, oh, this is permission to like say some shit.
Yeah, there's some things that are
brother.
Things that would be funny because they're so not true.
Yeah.
But then people who think it's funny because they think it is true, and is what you mean, and that's why you can't say it to a general audience.
Yeah, like Ricochet Rita can say that to you, but if she sees a skinhead with a swastika tattoo, she probably shouldn't make that same joke.
She's going to get a different
reaction. She doesn't say it to her husband because he's a skinhead with a swastika tattoo.
Oh, nice.
Stomping queen.
Wait, you're allowed to say that now?
He's thrilled.
I mean,
he's my little nugget. I can say that.
Yeah.
I heard so many.
I've got to wait until the stream catches up to it so I can see what her response is.
Yeah.
Yep.
He's my spicy little nugget.
There are so many times. Yeah, there are so many times when I would hear stuff, and I used because I'm autistic. I repeat anything I hear, especially when I was young. I had no idea what it all meant because my mother would just roll her eyes or kind of scoff when he would say these things because she didn't know how to process how just mean it was, and I would just be spouting racial epithets in grade school, going to the office all the time and having all of these like relatively straight-laced Brooklyn Heights and Connecticut folk look at me like, where did you learn that? That's older than me. They're like, I heard my dad say it.
So Ricochet Rita says 100% intent matters. Matthew knows I don't have a prejudiced bone in my body unless we're talking about guys who call themselves an alpha or a high value male, which is great thing.
There's clearly
to talk about.
3 of those right here.
Yeah, the 3 alpha males.
3 alpha high value males.
I'm not even the alpha in my house.
No.
I'm always the alfalfa. Wait. Oh, sorry. I misheard you.
So today it's just funny that she says that because today I showed because I've been seeing people reacting. I don't get these in my feed, but I see the reaction videos too. A lot of that red pill horse shit on Instagram. And I was like, I need to, and I also like I hear Logan with his friends, and his friends will say little bits and pieces that sound like maybe they're getting some of that influence. So I showed him a couple of red pill videos, and I'm like, this is why this is stupid. And we like went through it, but I also like made sure that I watched the people reacting to them because I don't want the original versions of my algorithm at all.
You go there and like you sign out first and then go find it.
Yeah. So like we found it and we watched a couple, and I was like, see, like, does that make sense? No, it doesn't make sense. And Ricochet Rita says, caught up, went back, screen recorded it, and will document my husband's reaction to to what Matthew said later.
My spicy little nugget.
But yeah, so that was a good teaching moment to just kind of be like, does this make sense? And he was like, no. And
no.
I had to explain like body count and stuff, and we talked about body count a little bit.
I don't want to talk to a kid about that. I know I'm going to eventually have to, but I don't want to.
Why would you have to?
Well, when you're flirting with them,
because it's going to come up.
It will not come up unless you're a parent.
No,
I'm the most inappropriate person.
Well, he hangs out at elementary schools, though. So sometimes when you're trying to get a conversation going.
Well, my wife and I have no children. We're not going to, and
that's why I said,
huh?
That's why I said, why will you have to?
Yeah, well, the reason why is because we're the cool aunts and uncle that they're going to ask stuff to, because they're not going to ask their parents. I know they're not, based on who they are now. So this is the kind of stuff that all the girls and the one dude will come ask us in 10 years. Like, why does dad not want me doing this? Or why did mom say this? And they're not going to ask them. They're going to ask us. Yeah. So I don't ever want to have that conversation. I already had to have like the puberty conversation with my eldest niece because she was over here and saw something on the TV we were watching, and she's like, "What's that?" And we looked over at her and said, "Oh, we're not sure. We should rewind it and find out." And then Holly gets out her phone immediately and tense messages her sister. Why the fuck haven't you talked to your daughter about this already? Why are we having to?
Why do I have to explain fisting to your daughter?
Right. I mean, exactly. So we watched Into the Spider-Verse with Logan when he was younger than we were wanting to have a sex talk with him. And they talk about puberty a few times because he's like, I'm going through puberty. Like he does the like voice thing. And so Logan would talk about puberty when he was little. And we would just be like, that's when your voice changes and facial hair and you start to physically become a man, or girls physically become a woman. Didn't have to talk about sex. Easy. And he was like, okay, cool. Like, didn't lie, didn't say like, that's when your balls are going to drop and you're going to start getting little boners. And no, we just were like, that's when your body starts to become a man. You'll start to get like body hair and facial hair.
You start to smell. It's when you start to smell, you little bastard.
Yeah, it's when you start to exactly.
We didn't have to lie, and we didn't have to say anything uncomfortable. So
fair. Okay.
Yeah. Back to the N-word. No.
Let's no.
No.
Anyway, so what is the big standouts for you all that are not heavy topics that have happened in the past week?
Yeah, hey, I wanted to ask what were your menus for Thanksgiving? The least heavy topic in the world, but that has some interest because we're all foodies of different types.
Yeah,
we are.
So we don't do turkey as much. Like we at least once every couple of years skip turkey altogether. And this I think
it's pronounced Turkey now.
Yeah. I'm surprised it's not called American chicken.
Sorry, it's the country doesn't use the word turkey anymore. I was referring to the country.
Right, exactly.
Oh, I didn't know.
It's the Gulf of Chicken, U.S.
So now chicken.
We made homemade ravioli, and
fantastic.
Yeah, we were just like, let's have something we all like.
Yeah.
So it's fun. It's like a fun kind of like process together where I'm rolling out the dough. Sarah makes the mix like for the stuffing of the raviolis, and then they assembly line, make the raviolis, and
nice.
It's kind of a good.
Do you have a good pasta maker to help you do that?
I do. I have like 3 now,
no.
But my newest one is the best one.
As it usually is.
The
newest
my
wife
mom's
is the best
listening,
wife. The newest pasta maker is the best pasta maker. Yeah.
No, that one revolutionized it because my mom got me one for My mom got us one for our wedding shower, and it never worked amazing. This is going to be for
I won't
patrons.
tell them.
And then we got one. It was just for rolling it out, and that one it worked well, but it was a hand crank, and I would be so exhausted by the end of doing like 4 or 5 balls of dough. You're just like, your arm's dead. So now we're at this point where I could roll out a ton, and I can get it thinner than I ever could because of the one that Matthew got me. So
yeah, which just was the attachment to the KitchenAid. I
yeah.
reached out to Sarah. I was like, "Do you have like an authentic like KitchenAid brand, mixer?" She's like, "Yeah." I was like, "Okay, cool. Getting the pasta attachment for it, because I know you make your own homemade pasta." And I figured that's the way to go.
Yeah. No, it was great, and we've used it a few times, and it's been excellent.
Cool.
So besides your raviolis, what else did you have? Did you make that a meal, or did you do like the larger meal with like multiple sides or something like that, or some kind of board to start?
We did a little bit of garlic bread.
They had ravioli, cranberry sauce, mashed potatoes.
I do love stuffing. That's the one Thanksgiving food that I like. But I like stovetop. Like, I don't need like some special.
We did Lidl brand cornbread, variety stuffing. Like, yeah.
I like almost every brand of stuffing, every type of stuffing I've ever had. But like, I like stovetop. So stovetop's just so easy to make.
I fell into
that, like,
kind of a new addiction now, because we picked up, like, Joseph is a huge fan of the canberry sauce. Like, open the can,
canberry,
right? I stole that. It's not mine, not original, but I stole it. But you know what it means right away, so it's good.
Yeah.
Immediately.
But I also bought.
That's the way to go, not the sticks and stems kind.
Yeah, but Wegmans has cranberry and orange relish, and it's like the orange, like the not the peel, but the white part, but the pith. There's also that little bitterness, like bites of bitterness in it, and whole berries, and a relish kind of thing. And we bought that. I just freaking love it. And so we did deconstructed turkey, which we've done the last couple of years. Or we bought like turkey breasts on the bone, and Madhavi made that her way. And then we bought turkey thighs and turkey wings, and I cut the wings up like they were buffalo wings, and grilled the wings to get good grill and char on them, and then like finished them off in the oven to get up the temperature without burning the outside too much. And then
nice.
And then we did normal traditional sides, except like the Cole family, we need a pasta course. So I did a baked ziti as a pasta course as part of it. So we had butternut squash soup, and then baked ziti, and then like the rest of the dinner, the turkey with all the kind of traditional turkey sides.
The first time we did the like ravioli Italian food Thanksgiving dinner, I made homemade ravioli, and then my father-in-law made a lasagna, and then we had garlic bread, and it was just like so much carbs. Yeah. And I was like, "What?" I was like, "I love your lasagna, like that. But why don't we pick one?"
We did.
I like that. I love it.
So we did this year.
I do love his lasagna.
We've done manicotti in the past. We've done stuffed shells in the past, but this year we did the baked ziti. But then we had with the dinner we had the stuffing. And then we had sweet potatoes. You just had like just regular, baked sweet potatoes. Except to bump it up a little bit, I bought Land O'Lakes pumpkin spice flavored butter. So like it was all the cinnamon and all that stuff. Instead of putting cinnamon and butter on it, let's put the butter that was already flavored. And let me tell you, there's a lot of butter left over, and it is the world's greatest cinnamon toast. Toast a little bit of challah or brioche and put a little bit of that stuff on it. It's just amazing. But yeah, we had a lot of carbs.
I can get behind that for sure.
Yeah, and we had, of course, I had hot sauces on the table. So those of us who were eating the wing portions, we had giant flats and drumettes. And the drumettes really didn't need sauce. They felt like eating mini drumsticks. They were bigger than a chicken drumstick. But the flats were just giant buffalo wings. So we had, I bought the gift set from the Anchor Bar, the originator of the buffalo wings. So I had all the varieties of like mild, medium, hot, extra hot, extreme hot, kind of all there. Very yummy.
Yes.
And then the day after, I did a video on the Brooklyn Brothers food review channel. Oh, sorry, no, not Brooklyn Brothers. On CK's Kitchen, on the CK's Kitchen channel.
CK's Kitchen, yeah.
I did a day after sandwich where I layered everything we had. I layered, including I made a Mediterranean, Moroccan-inspired marinated carrots that I forgot to take out of the refrigerator for dinner. We forgot to serve it for dinner, but I put it on the sandwich anyway. So it was on the leftover sandwich.
Was that this year? I haven't seen a new CK's Kitchen video in a while.
Yeah, it was the first time in 2 years I've done a CK's Kitchen. It was just making the sandwich.
Oh,
and
sweet.
then I also ate on it. Ricochet Rita's father gave me a really nice hot sauce for my retirement, and I used that on the sandwich. And then I did on the Brooklyn Brothers an introduction, and then cut over to CK reviewing the hot sauce. Like while I was doing the thing, I went ahead and filmed a review from in CK character.
Nice. Sorry. That's awesome that you have a new CK video, because I love those.
Yeah, I need to do more.
But I will say, and I know that you've had the character forever, but like CK right now is like kind of hot initials that like you don't necessarily want that smoke. So
I used it first. Actually, it's from the Philadelphia story. It's Cary Grant's role was C.K. Dexter Haven. It's from that. Because Ricochet Rita's dad, and Ricochet Rita, the three of us were in a stage production of that. And I played C.K. Dexter Haven. Her dad played Uncle Willie. And she played Dinah, the bride's younger sister. And like a month after doing the show, Mikey and I were in the improv scene and we were bowling. And I looked up and said, "Hey, Willie." And he looks at me and goes, "What, CK?" And we just became CK and Willie, the characters we played in the play. Well, not the characters at all, but the names. We took the names from the characters. That was inspiration. And then the scene was so good, it is 20 years later, and we're still doing those characters. We turned it into a long form that we used to do all the time, was CK and Willie. And everything that ever happened in one of the stories continued on to the next one. Like, it wasn't just a one-and-done improv scene. We said I was going on a date. 2 months later, we did those characters again. "Hey, how'd your date go the other day?" And I used to sum up the previous thing. One of the gimmicks ended up being me rapid fire summing up our lives, like in the middle of a conversation. Like, I was thinking of asking out your sister. "Why would you ask my sister out?" "Well, do you remember that time that I was in the grocery store and I ran into the guy and he said he was," and I got to sum up things from the previous shows to catch up for people in the audience, but like really rapid fire. It was a fun bit. And then when I started doing the CK cooking videos, I just stole the character and then named everyone in my family after characters that were in the improv.
Oh, nice. So there's a lot of real life tie-ins.
There's a backstory to everybody. Like the reason that I refer to Joseph as Vincenzo, because one episode the suggestion was adopting a third world baby, and I adopted Vincenzo from Secaucus, New Jersey.
Yeah,
and also that's where you would get a Vincenzo.
Well, the thing was, the two suggestions were that night were adopting a third world baby, and the other suggestion was the Democratic caucuses, because it was political season. So I adopted a baby from Secaucus.
Nice. Every time I watch one of the Trip movies, which I absolutely love them, I will text Matthew and be like, "Well, we should make an improv movie. I can direct it." And he always says that it would be CK and Willie, like if we did that. So I just saw a clip of them the other day, and I'm like, "Oh, I want to do an improv movie." Like, Alex, have you seen the Trip movies? The two comedians playing themselves. It's Steve Coogan and
I was
Rob
going to say,
Brydon.
If it's the British one, I know the one you're talking about. Yeah,
they do Michael Caine and I will not bury another Batman. How many Batman have you buried? I buried 19 Batman.
Buried 19.
But yeah, every time I watch one of those, I'm like, this is such an amazing idea. Just work through it, get like a loose concept, and just let people improv and make like a movie around it. Seems.
I don't think you want us improving, but
not you, but Matthew and Mikey.
Oh, yeah,
would be fun.
Recruit my old idiots out of retirement. Be like, "Son of a bitch, I'm in." We're putting together a team.
I'm assembling a team of the best.
Ricochet Rita, you need to move up from South Carolina to North Carolina to be in the show.
We you're probably just better off moving anyway.
She started taking workshops when she was like 12, so she grew up and, eventually was just part of the troupe. She grew up doing our workshops and being in our show. She matured on our stage. Hey, I was probably the first guy who French kissed her, but, it was on stage. We used to have a rule. You weren't a member of the Idiots until you had my tongue in your throat. I don't break the rules.
How old was she at this point?
I don't know. She'll have to fill in. I think 15 or something. It was
I
on
like
stage.
kids.
It was a stage show.
I like 7-year-olds.
I like improvising with 7-year-olds.
Yeah, I don't want any 7-year-olds becoming official members.
Yeah. Apparently, Rita says no. That was Nick Lord.
Yeah.
Oh,
I had a.
God!
Nick
Why
Lord
would it be Nick? I know who Nick Lord is.
It might only make sense to one of you.
Madhavi used to work with her father.
Maybe 6 months later, Matthew kissed me on stage.
Thought I tasted something.
Well, yeah, Matthew works slowly. He's not a one and done. He works up to his victims, partners, actors, students.
No, I wouldn't do it to a student. It's when you're in the troupe. It's the final step of being in the troupe. You performed with us enough times that it's permanent. That's what makes it. But it's not like permanent. It's kind of like
sort of initiation.
Well, you may not know this, Alex, but it's like you're not a parent until you've watched your kids fall down the stairs. Like you may have a kid, you may have raised them for 7 years, but until you hear boom, 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 and you turn and see a kid going head over heels, you're not really a parent. Like that, you don't know it until that moment, but that's when you're a parent. It's some of that. You think you remember the idiots. You're doing shows. You're getting paid. You're funny. Then you get a tongue, and you're like, oh, now I'm really part of the gang.
I think I've told this story back to the falling down the stairs, but I think I've told the story, but it's such a good story. So Logan was, I don't know, 9 months-ish, and I was home watching him in our old place in Massachusetts, and we had like a gate on the top, on the first step up, right? So that he could get up onto one step, because he was learning to pull himself up, and I was like, he can get up, no big deal. So he'd step onto the first step, which was carpeted, but the floor below was hardwood, and he kind of fell on his butt, then fell back on, and it hit his head. And I was folding laundry, and he was crying a little bit, and I go to get him, and the back of his head is deep purple. And I call Sarah. She's at work, and I'm like, Sarah, Logan just fell. The back of his head's all purple. I think he's dying. I need you. And I'm like freaking out. And I hang up the phone, because that was the voice. I left her a voicemail with that. I hang up the phone, and I'm like gently rubbing the back of his head, and the purple comes off, because it is. It's the lint from the laundry that I'm folding that had stuck to his head. And I call her back. And I leave her a voicemail like, he's not dying. It was just lint. It's just purple lint.
He's just limpy.
I would have to bruise my kid before my wife got home. I have to cover that up with real bruises.
Oh, no. I didn't want her freaking out, so I was like...
Our first house...
So she got 2 rapid-fire voicemails. She heard the first one, was like, what the hell? And then, like, the second one starts playing, and she's probably, like, at this point thinking of giving her an update, like, we're on our way to the hospital or whatever. And it's like me going, I'm sorry. Like, I was crying. When the adrenaline gets you, and you're just like... And I was just, like, crying, and I'm like, he's fine.
When Jacob was about the same age, we... our old house had an upstairs second floor bonus room that was like just the room over the garage that was 3 steps inclined, like down into the bonus room from the rest of the second floor. And Jacob couldn't crawl up steps. So we would put him in there like in the morning playing while we're getting ready for work. He would be on a blanket just playing with his toys, and he can crawl around, but there was nowhere he could really go. It was a childproof room. Madhavi was at the bathroom right at the top of the 3 steps. So she was right there. If he made noise, she just popped her head out. But unbeknownst to us, but knownst to Jacob, at daycare, they got a little slide with 3 or 4 steps up the slide and taught the kids how to crawl up steps and slide down the slide. Jacob crawled up those 3 steps and then went down the 19 steps to the first floor. So I'm in the bathroom in the master bedroom, and I hear followed by Madhavi's running down the stairs after him. I come running around, and she's sprawled out on the floor, Jacob on her lap, both of them hysterical, crying, freaking out. I go running down, like, what happened? She's like, he fell down the stairs. So I pick him up, and she's freaking out. She's lost. So I pick Jacob up. He's crying while he's on her lap, but I walk him to the other side of the living room, sit him down on my lap, and he stops crying. I just give him a little body touch. I can touch all over his body, and like no sore spots. He's just giggling, having fun. We were an hour late to work because it took an hour before she recovered from having him fall down the stairs. Like, that counts. That counts. The parenting moment.
Yeah.
You've got your one. We're good.
Like at daycare, we're like, if you have a milestone, like you learned to climb stairs, could you tell us that? Like that's an important thing to know.
Yeah. I will say, and obviously, Alex, you said you're not going to become a parent, but for anybody who is not a parent but is hoping to be a parent someday, here's a piece of advice I would give you, which is when your kid falls, don't freak out until they freak out.
Right.
Because if you don't freak out, there's a 50-50 chance they'll just be like, okay,
they'll usually get up and
Oops.
look at you to see what your reaction is. I mean, they will literally look to see, am I supposed to cry?
I used to my old neighbor across the street here at my current house. They moved, thank God. But her kids were the same age as Logan and a little bit younger. Anytime anything happened, she'd be like, "Oh my God!" And including with Logan, and we wouldn't react. And she'd be like, "Why aren't you guys reacting?"
Why aren't you reacting? Yeah,
because if he doesn't freak out and we freak out, he'll freak out. But if he
we don't know if it's serious if he's reacting to us screaming. We have to hear if he's in pain or not.
And she couldn't get. And I'm like, you should learn this. It's like really important. It's going to make not only your life easier, but it's also going to allow you to assess things better.
Why is he crying? Because you're crying, or because he's hurt?
Right.
Like there's no way to tell which if you're crying too. Yeah.
Correct. My my close friend who has the youngest of all of my nephews just is the same way. Unless he freaks out, she's just, it's all right, bud, get up. You're good.
Yeah.
That kid is pretty quiet and he's already pretty shy. But there are definite times where like he's over here and I'll kind of like get very intense because we don't have a childproof home. He's about to hurt himself on something, or touch something delicate, what have you. And I'll just be like, out of it. And he'll just kind of look back and put his hand down. I'm like, you're good, bud. No problem. And then
Alex,
his mom will look at me like, dude, he's good.
Alex, have any of your nephews or nieces been hurt on your watch?
Not in my house, but when I've been around them, like when we're out in public.
But not when you're responsible for them, or just when you're around?
No.
So one time,
not yet. I know it's going to happen, but not yet.
Once when the boys were young and there was no Leah yet, my brother Jeremy was visiting. We went to a park together, and Jacob had to go get a vaccination. So I'm like, Jeremy, you and Joseph stay here. We play in the park. We're going to go. Literally 2 minutes after I left, Joseph went running, tripped, fell on the concrete, busted open his lip. And Jeremy's like, he left me with him for 2 minutes, and I broke him. Like Jeremy was just like beside himself. But I went. We got Jacob shot. Turned around, came back in 5 minutes. It was like we walked in the place. They said, "Come on back, give him a shot." Walk back out. Joseph was playing fine with a little swollen, little split lip. Jeremy was a basket case. He was like, I broke him. 1 minute. That's all I had him for.
Yeah.
I mean, I know my nieces are going to hurt themselves before the boy Onimus does, because he's so just shy, reserved, and like risk averse. However, my nieces were backing down stairways before they really were supposed to, and going, ooh, I wonder if that'll hurt me. They're like just inquisitive, right? And they have a bigger dog, so they're already not delicate touch, because the dog doesn't need to be touched very delicately, and their home looks like a model home, so there's nothing really to hurt yourself on. So their way of interacting with their environment is already kind of rough. Gross movements rather than fine movements. So
rough
I know it's going to happen. Right? Huh?
Rough because of the dog.
Yeah.
So did I ever tell you about time I had a talking dog? Did I guys tell you? I told you about my talking dog, didn't I?
I don't believe you
have. I did. I had a talking dog. And I took him into a talent agent. I said, I got a talking dog. And they're like, that's amazing. I said, yeah. So I want to see you. I said, hey, talking dog. Dog looks at me. I said, what's the top of the building called? Dog looks at me and goes, roof. Yeah, pretty good, huh? I said, come on. I'm like, no, what's the outside of a tree called? My dog goes, bark.
Bark.
And I'm like, and they're like, come on, you're wasting our time. I'm like, no. I'm like, who's the greatest New York Yankee ever to live? Dog goes, Ruth. Yeah. And they go, get the fuck out of here. They kick me out. And I'm sitting on on the sidewalk where they kicked me. And my dog goes, maybe I should have fucking said DiMaggio.
Yeah. Something else.
Hilarious. Just like your mother likes it, rough Trebek.
Rough. Just like your mother likes it, Trebek. God, that's some of the that is seriously some of the best ages of SNL when they had that bit running. It was still some of my favorite stuff.
You know why, Alex?
Why it was
you
good?
and I would have been in high school when, like, the beginning of high school when that came out. We were at the age where SNL is its best.
Everybody thinks
Yeah,
SNL is the best when they started watching it in high school. That was the best year of it, right? Because you were immature, so everything was funny.
Well, okay. As an improv and short form actor, Matthew, do you have the same affinity for when you started watching it, or do you truly see an era?
I started
that was
watching it in 1975. My brother would help me stay up late to watch the original cast. So I maybe 76. Maybe it was Bill Murray, not Chevy Chase, when I really started watching. But so I watched the originals. But no, I think that what I've learned over the years is every season has its high and low points. I mean, there was the season with Gilbert Godfrey and
nobody else that you know the name
no,
of.
Julia Louis-Dreyfus.
Gilda
There was a people who made it big, but their seasons sucked. And it was when Lorne Michaels wasn't there, the non-Lorne Michaels season. And then when he came back, he brought in big guns. He brought in Billy Crystal and Martin Short, to make sure it would be big for a year.
Yeah.
So Eddie Murphy was the first 4 seasons without it
was like Eddie Murphy and Joe Piscopo were the only good ones out of those seasons.
Right. And they kept it afloat. And then there was one season after Eddie Murphy left before Lorne Michaels came back, and that was
that's when they had to bring Lorne Michaels back. Yeah, because the two of them were just great, and it was just like Buckwheat and Velvet Jones and I'm from Jersey. You know, like they had a couple of characters they just repeated over and over again. Jersey. They kept it alive. But it's funny. I would love things like Joe Piscopo was a genius on SNL, but nothing else he ever did was worth a damn. You know, I mean, he was funny in Johnny Dangerously, but he was not a leading man, not a comedian who was going to carry anything, except he was perfect for short sketches on SNL. That's that's why you get people who stay on the show and are afraid to leave for a decade because I'm good at short scene comedy, and where else besides SNL can that be your career?
Right. Can that be a lasting career that you can even book other things off of? So this is hot take, but not for film people. Until Adam Sandler did a serious role, that's how I thought of him. He was great as these short form, very captivating, candid performances. And then until he did serious roles, all of his movies was just longer
until he did movies with Drew Barrymore. It was like 3 in a row or something he did that were high-ender comedies because he did 50 First Dates and he did Wedding Singer and
Punch Drunk Love was the first ever serious film I saw him in, and I thought it was fantastic. And then Billy Madison and all of the other Happy Gilmore, all of these are just not necessarily good comedies, but they're ones that are memorable.
Yeah,
I guess.
I feel like Adam Sandler and Will Ferrell comedies to me are both things I laugh when I watch them, but I would not consider them art. They're not I'm embarrassed that I laugh. I'm not proud of the fact that they make me laugh.
Yeah.
No. Will Ferrell stuff for me is better than Adam's. Will's work, although he's never done a serious role, I think Ferrell's is better than Sandler's.
It's better, but in the same category to me of I don't like that I like.
Also true.
I don't know. I also think that one thing that's interesting about SNL.
Mike's you're kicked off the Cinevent podcast.
No. I like Will Ferrell a lot. I think that I like Will Ferrell more than Adam Sandler comedy-wise of the last 20 years. Mm-hmm. But it's hard because Adam Sandler in the 90s was on fire. And then it got really formulaic. And it's that how Eddie Murphy went through a big slump. And I think Eddie Murphy is brilliant. But you're so famous that nobody's telling you when your shit's not funny correctly.
Chris Kattan.
I don't think Chris Kattan was ever that amazing. He's not terrible.
He's an example of someone who belongs on SNL.
It just
he belongs on SNL. They do sketch comedy.
Well, and I do think that that's a real difference is that you get a lot of SNL people who, some of the people who've come out of SNL who were the best after SNL I'm like, I didn't like Kristen Wiig. I never thought Kristen Wiig was funny on SNL, and I love her in almost everything since
Yeah,
SNL.
in the longer stuff, she shows better. I agree with that.
Same thing with Will Forte. I never found him funny, like in SNL. But like one of my favorite shows of the last 15 years is Last Man on Earth.
That was a great show.
Like
Okay.
it was a great show, and he's done movies and stuff, and I'm like, oh, he's great. And it's just like it's a different sensibility or something that just doesn't click.
Yeah, 100%. Can you do short sketches or are you good at doing a long? And some people can do both.
Yeah.
But most people do one or the other. But I mean, it's like when all the years I taught improv, I had some great community theater actors take my classes who sucked at improv, but they were really good at community theater. At theater, Rick mentioned community theater. That's why I saw them. They could have been good in other things if they were professional, but they. But it's a different skill set. Like being able to do one does not automatically transfer. Like I was okay in the few plays that I did, but I was really good at improv. I wasn't nearly as good in stage as I was, in non-improv.
Yeah. I saw a thing in the last, I don't know, 6 months about Kenan Thompson, and they were talking about how, Kenan Thompson's been the longest running person. And like, why has he been the longest running person? And it's been because he's pretty versatile. Like, I don't think he's that amazing on the show, but he's good enough on the show, and so he's been really versatile for what they've needed. He can do Steve Harvey, he can do all these different things, but he hasn't had anything that's taken off outside of SNL. Really, like obviously he was famous before SNL, but it was,
if anything,
he's had a couple of TV series
that have carried him more
really taken
critical.
Off.
Yeah, and so like he hasn't like clicked in that same way. And obviously, like he came up from all that.
Like Phil Hartman was a genius on SNL.
Yes,
and then he knew that he is not a leading man who's going to carry a show. So when he did like News Radio, and was basically a sketch character on News Radio.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He's a weird character that could not exist to carry a whole show. You could do an episode even about him because he wasn't realistic enough. But he was the perfect icing on the cake for that every episode he was in.
Yep. Yeah. Although who knows what we would have seen from Phil Hartman. I was
he couldn't choose a wife. He was bad at that.
He did seem to not have the best success with picking wives. That's true. I mean,
I love when I can't tell if Alex gets the joke or not. I love.
Well, there's a reason he's no longer with us.
Sometimes we make a joke though, and you just are like, yeah.
I just take it so seriously.
Can't tell. I just can't tell if you get
I understand it. It's not really funny enough to laugh at. I just I get the reference.
Thank you, autism.
No, but there's other times where we pause and laugh, and then Alex goes, "What was the joke?"
What was I supposed to?
Oh, and another like voice actor who's done better outside is Chris Parnell. So he was fantastic as Cyril Figgis in Archer, one of my favorite animated shows. But he was
as Jerry
on SNL.
As Jerry on
Chris Parnell was decent on SNL.
I think he was better as a voice actor.
He was another one where if they used him right, he was great. Like there was My Date with Britney Spears, which I used to have like on my music playlist. Britney Spears hosted, and he wrote a song for Weekend Update, and he rapped, and he's like, and it was kind of probably what made.
Wait, I know the one you're talking about. It's one of my favorite episodes.
Yeah,
it was the Chronicles of Narnia rap.
No.
Oh,
I think that's I think that's what made people go, "Oh, this guy can actually rap a little bit." The Chronicles of Narnia.
The Chronicles of Narnia.
What of Narnia? Chronicles of Narnia. Yeah.
Andy Samberg. Better in Brooklyn Nine-Nine than he is on SNL. I think so.
Well, he was always better. He was always better in the digital shorts than he was in the regular sketches.
Fair. No.
Although he came back in the last year, Ariana Grande was the host, and it was him and Maya Rudolph played Ariana Grande's parents, and they were talking about the castrado. And Logan and I quoted all the time.
Yes.
Just the tweeze.
What's his name? Comedian was the dude on that episode as the host,
remember.
And it was fantastic.
But it was Ariana Grande plays this little boy, and they're like, we remove the balls.
You remove the balls.
Like, you cut off his balls. Maybe that's why he's upset. And he's like, no, we don't cut them off. And he goes,
we
tweezed.
tweezed.
We tweezed. We just tweezed. And Ariana Grande is just like, and she, dressed as a boy, just like this, and then they're like sing, and she hits this like ridiculously high note, like a castrato. And Logan and I every once in a while will go just a twist.
It's a twist. You just have to twist. What do you do?
Yeah.
Then we twist.
Sandberg was best when he was in a scene with someone he enjoyed being in a scene with.
Yeah.
It's like whenever Justin Timberlake was on, he was great in everything he did with him, not just the shorts, but in the scenes because they were having fun together, so they were laughing.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Or when he was doing the Get in the Cage with Nicolas Cage.
Yeah.
It's my art. One of us is the actual Nicolas Cage, and one of us is a screaming lunatic. That's high praise.
One of us is a screaming lunatic. Oh God! Now I'm gonna go watch all these after we crap. I'm just gonna go watch all these.
Listen, Nieces Pieces. When he calls Liam Neeson Nieces Pieces was excellent.
Liam Neeson's Pieces. Yeah.
And he's like, "Your taken trailer speech is high art for me." And then Liam Neeson says something. He goes, "That's high praise."
It's high praise.
One of his
you have the smoky.
When you're doing a character like an impersonation like that too, it helps to have a phrase that locks you in. So high praise is like his phrase for locking himself in with his character.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I love Andy Samberg.
I do too. This was pretty good small stuff.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
It's been an hour of small stuff.
Yeah, I was about to say, welcome audience to a phone call with the three of us.
Yeah. Hey, I think we kept it entertaining, and
let's make three of us trying to decide, hey, what's our topic tonight? That's the conversation we have.
Entertainment is subjective. I mean, I think I'm hilarious, but
it makes one of us.
Hey, guys!
Looks on everything.
You know what I had for dinner tonight?
What?
The dinner party.
I haven't heard of that. Madhvi was craving an Italian sub, so we just went to Wegmans and we got like 2 different kinds of prosciutto and rosemary salami and various vegetation toppings, and we did the viral chopped sub. Like I laid everything out like it was a sub.
Nice. Oh, nice! Yeah,
and oil and vinegar on it, and then mustard and mayo, whatever. And then took out the butcher knife and chopped it up into little pieces, and moved it onto semolina bread, and we had the chopped Italian on semolina.
Does it eat easily?
Every bite has every flavor. It's really good.
Good point.
Actually is really good. And I just realized we forgot to put the cheese on. We had smoked provolone and we forgot to add cheese. But even without cheese, it was excellent.
I've been going to Wegmans fairly regularly, and I get the sesame buns, or like the sesame rolls, or Kaiser rolls are my favorite. But you could do it with a lot of options, obviously. But I'll go get prosciutto, mortadella, and a salami and a capicola, and I will do all those, and then to put on the bread, I'll also like tomato and onion. I like on there. On the bread, I put the fig jam.
Nice,
and it is it's amazing.
Here's a pro tip at Wegmans they don't tell you, but the bread they use, the different sub breads they use for subs when you buy a sub from them, if you go over to the sub counter, they will give you just a sub bread for $3 or $4, maybe.
Nice.
You just pay for it at the register. But they don't put that in the bakery. Like those subs bread are not in the bakery.
Those rolls.
If you're looking for good sub,
bread,
it's like they don't have the sub rolls, but you can go over to the sub counter and they'll give you one.
You know what? I bet you didn't get to go with your sub, Matthew. I don't think you got a Sycamore beer, did you?
I did not. I wonder if they even have them anymore. I saw things online.
I was about to say, are they off the shelf yet?
Ingles Groceries took them all off the shelves, which is like in Western North Carolina.
Why? What's the deal with Sycamore?
One of the owners is a PDF file.
So husband and wife team. He was arrested in the act in the home of the victim by her, found by her family.
Yeah, I don't know if that's arrested and not disappeared, but yeah.
Well, actually, he was arrested in his car. He ran to his car, and that's where he was apprehended.
Yeah. So people are pulling it off the shelves.
Yeah, I don't blame that.
So it's not as much of a crime as what happened at Bavana, but it's going to be way a bigger deal than what happened at Bavana. Like this, what's unfortunate, and I've come from this industry of food and beverage, is there are so many.
Thank God you said food and beverage.
Yeah, well,
I come from this industry.
Point. There's so many scenarios where you have less scrupulous individuals who work here in this industry, and or less usually background checks, and you'll run into situations that just mess up the livelihoods of thousands of people because one person plays unfortunately risky with his company and their brand. So,
Yeah.
I mean, like Bavana, they never really closed. They just reorganized. Like, this is the tap room's going to close. They're going to have to cut back production. The distributors are going to get hurt that distribute Sycamore, because Sycamore does not self-distribute in every part of the state. So there's some places where Sycamore sold it directly. And there's others where a distributor sold it to them. So the distributor's about to take all that back, or have people say, well, take all these kegs back. Well, we can't do that. Well, how am I going to sell beer with this guy on the label? I don't know. So, yeah, it's unfortunate because it's not bad beer, actually, which kind of sucks. Like, it's really not bad beer at all.
It's local, right? It's like Charlotte, right? Isn't it Charlotte based?
Yep. Yeah. They're a pretty big deal in Charlotte. I mean, they've got like 2 or 3 tap rooms. Like they're no joke.
I should ask my son if he goes there because he's a big tap room kind of guy. No, he's a guy. He was tap room, but he's more mixology now, so he goes to more cocktail bars. Like he probably doesn't go there.
Yeah, especially now that I'm being more conscious of how many calories I'm consuming, I've switched to a lot more spirits than I have beer or wine. But it also makes me more selective when I have a beer, and I'll be more picky about what it is. And it was last week, actually, that was when you guys were recording, I think, Mike, when you and I were supposed to record our other podcast together. I was in Charlotte, and she was at the tap. We were at the tap room the day before the arrest happened.
Yeah.
And it was like full. And Holly said that some folks who were in the Charlotte area were like, oh, it's a ghost town. Like the employees are like, there's more of them than there are people there right now. And it's a Friday, so it's unfortunate, man. But that's talking about the big stuff. This is small stuff. I just always like to be
back to Bavana for a second, because I went there like, I don't know, 7-8 years ago when we first moved here, and I haven't been back. We liked it. That's like a date night thing, and we have not had many date nights in Raleigh. Our date nights are in Charlotte. Do they still have the bookshelves?
Oh yeah. Yeah, the inside of the Bavana restaurant,
bookshelves.
Yeah, the inside of the Brewery Bavana restaurant, still Beatamanda, they both still look like a flower shop library that has
stationery
tables.
Store. I feel like a stationery store.
Yes, thank you. It looks very much like a very clean white stationery store, or a modern day like hipster coffee shop that was decorated by a Danish person, because it's all very white and minimalist. And then they serve Thai food.
And very expensive dim sum.
And very expensive dim sum. It's not that great in comparison.
No.
But the food there's decent. And again, the beer's good. But Harris Teeter couldn't sell it. It was marked half off or more for months. And I kind of cleaned a couple of them out. It's like, I'm going to take all of these that age nicely and put them in my cellar. And then when no one knows what happened with this, I can get them out and serve them at parties. Be like, this is delicious.
Alex, let's specify, you're talking about beers that will age in
yes,
your cellar.
Yes, not the victims. Although the victims were fallen soldiers after I were done with them.
It's like I saw
speaking about the talk stuff.
I saw. It's about time. I saw a clip on TikTok, and someone said it was how many dead bodies does it take to change a light bulb? I just checked my basement. The answer is not 8. I'll let you know.
Nice. I have quoted so many times that line Matthew dropped, that 0 murders is the right number of murders for me. And I have made it
the
my
first
thing.
Person I ever. I think I've heard a lot of people say it, but Penn Jillette is the first person I'm familiar with saying it.
And if you include rape in that, I feel like it also because people use murder hyperbolically all the time anyway. So murder kind of doesn't have the same kick. Whereas if you say I do all the raping I want to do, that has more of the kick.
What stops you from raping and murdering all the people you want to? Because nothing.
Yep.
Nothing stops me, and I do. I rape and murder all the people I want to, and that number is 0. And if it's not zero for you, I'm happy that you have a God because you need one. You're a monster.
Yeah.
That's the only thing holding you back.
Right.
All
I
right,
like
let's
that's
start
the only
wrapping
thing
up.
holding you back. Thank God they exist. Actually, that was
start-
was a weird hyperbole. Thank God they. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Let's start wrapping things up because some of us are getting hungry and have to pee.
Some of us had half of our sandwich already.
Oh
I still need to have a
yeah.
latke and a hot sauce. I got to do that.
Very nice.
After I take out mommy's trash and recycling. But for those of you who made it this far into the video, you've liked it, right? You liked the video. I mean, you watched this.
Did you already do that?
Did you? So you liked it, right? And have you made comments? You probably did. You probably at one point were like, Matthew just called someone his spicy little nugget. I'm gonna make a comment about that. He did. Yeah. So make comments about that stuff because the algorithm.
And it wasn't me.
No, I wouldn't call you little nugget.
I'm a big nugget.
You're my spicy meatball. And
I'm your cutlet.
Anyway, go ahead, like the video, subscribe to the channel, ring the notification bell.
Do all that like shit.
And we will move along.
And if you are listening to us, make sure you're following the podcast on whatever your app of choice is.
Mike,
it's usually like a plus sign or.
You know what? You know what I learned today? Nothing. But you know what I learned this week? My podcast player of choice, Pocket Casts, was doing like a year-end review thing, and it said like how many podcasts have you reviewed, and I didn't know they added reviewing. The last time they updated the software, they added a 5-star reviewing system in Pocket Cast. I didn't realize they did. Cool. So if you go into your list of pods that you're subscribed to, you can rank them. It's kind of shitty if you're on the patron feed because then like you're unique. You're the only person. You're ranking the patron feed that you have, and it's one. So you have to be listening to the non-patron feed to rank that. And if you haven't listened to at least one episode, it won't let you rank. It won't let you subscribe and rank. You have to. But for the first time, I don't know when they started, but recently on Pocket Cast, you can give it a 5-star rating just like you can on iTunes. So give it 5-star ratings everywhere.
Yeah, absolutely. And if that's not enough for you and you wanted to do more, because it is the season of giving. Right now, it's Hanukkah if you're listening to us live. And if you're not listening to us live, it's probably around Christmas.
Or if you're a patron getting the drop on Monday, the last day of Hanukkah.
If you're a patron, this doesn't entirely matter to you because you're already a patron.
But you can up your
You're already cool. You're already our favorite chosen ones.
So, yeah. Especially because we're talking about Hanukkah, right? So if you're wanting to do more since the season of giving, you can go to patreon.com/talking about the big stuff, and you can sign up to get the podcast one of 4 different ways there. There's a $0, a $1, a $3, and a $10 option. They all have their own little benefits. The $10 one's the best one, obviously, and that's per month, not per episode. So $10 per month means it's really like $2.50 per episode, and you're getting all kinds of extra content for that. And that's for as little as a cup of coffee a day you can get, or less than a cup of coffee a day.
Less than, yeah.
Is that Sally Struthers reference right after Rob Reiner dies? That's weird.
Ooh.
Okay,
topical.
Anyway, so Matthew, do you got anything else for us?
Yeah, I wrote a limerick.
Go ahead.
If stories of heart you'd invest, try Dinner Party or All I Have Left. By Cole, they're composed.
Everything I Have Left.
Oh, everything. Fuck. I don't read it. With wit well disposed, 2 treasures for readers impressed. I made up book titles and an author. Oh,
so
I was close too.
The Dinner Party and Everything I've Got Left. The Dinner Party is in select stores right now.
If you lived in Raleigh and you were in North Raleigh and you wanted to go to a fine bookstore, where might you go?
Quail Ridge Books has a copy. But if you buy that copy, maybe they'll order another copy.
Yeah.
And so-and-so Books, which is in more central.
Did you sign it when you were there?
I didn't because I didn't know if they would want me to or not.
You should have picked it up off the shelf and walk over to them and said, "Hey, I'm the author of this. Would you like me to sign it?" They probably would mark it signed.
True. Maybe I'll probably go back
Yeah.
soon. And Anyway,
I'll go in impersonating
um,
you and sign it with your signature.
better
I mean,
not.
I'm looking at the screen right now, and you're impersonating right now. It says Michael Cole on the screen.
Yeah,
I was hoping
it's true.
someone would pick up on that.
Anyway, so check that out. It's a great if you order now, you will have it in time for Christmas.
That is true.
It's a great book to give a parent. My mom loved it. I wouldn't say loved it. She said it was really uncomfortable, but it was well written. My father-in-law,
Your mother loved it the way a mother can.
my father-in-law liked it a lot. He said the last section that was actually the dinner party section was like a real book.
I like that. It was like a real book.
So I'm getting good reviews. No, but I got some genuinely good reviews. But yeah, I need to wrap up because I really need to pee. Matthew, do you have any last puns to make?
No, I just want to thank you all for talking about the short stuff. Alex really appreciates it being the short stuff in our group.